Hey everyone, and welcome to our channel. Today's video is all about how we got my mum's tiny house bogged at her off-grid land. And for anyone not familiar with the term bogged, it basically means stuck in the mud. And so it's a bit of a funny video because this happened the very morning after we spent about 10 hours on the road getting here to our off-grid land. And all I wanted to do was unpack our stuff, set up our shower, and have a day to unwind from the trip. But as things go, living off-grid, a lot of the time, nothing goes to plan. And so first thing in the morning, my mom comes up to her caravan and says, "Hey guys, I got the tiny house bogged in the mud. Can you come and help me pull it out?" And I was like, are you serious? You got it stuck in the mud on our first day here? All right, let's go pull it out and let's make a video of it. It'll be funny. So let's go ahead and check out how this went. In this first clip, you can see the point at which the tiny house itself was stuck, and our very first mistake of not staying on the gravel driveways. This is something you don't want to do if there's been a lot of rain and you don't know how soft the soil is. And now in the second clip, you can see us trying to rescue the tiny house with the help of some four-wheel drive tracks. Now in this third clip, you can see the point at which we lost the battle. Once the surface of the road was broken, water came up and the ground became sludge. Looking back on this now, we probably should have unhitched the tiny house before the car got stuck, because as you're about to see, the situation just got a lot more difficult. Check out that side.
Oh my god. Absolute sludge.
Okay, something.
You never know.
The dogs didn't seem too concerned though. They were still having a great time. And in this part you can see our first challenge, which was actually having to lift the tiny house up to be able to unhitch it from the car. And here we finally disconnected the trailer, but there was still a bit more work to do to get it high enough so that we could position the jockey wheel in a way that we could move the trailer out of the way.
Oh, Ute. I know that. It's like, go. Yes, Mom.
Okay, the sequence of events is I'm reversing, I'm turning around, and you guys hook up the strap. And here you can see the snatch strap being attached to the towing mount on the front of the car with a U-bolt. So when that's nice and secure, the other end we just put onto the tow ball on the back of our car. Alright Mum, now you get in and you'll be driving it while I'm pulling you out. And so here is our very first attempt at trying to pull the Hilux out, and you can see that pulling it out is not actually the issue.
Oh. Alex, just wait. It's getting close.
The issue here is how close the trailer is to the back of the car, and we didn't want to risk the trailer connection putting a big dent in the back of the Hilux. as we tried again, we realized that the back of the car was just getting way too close to the trailer, and we had to move the tiny house away from the car before we could actually pull it out. So here we are, all the way on the other side of the situation, pulling the tiny house out of the way so that we can get the Hilux out of there without having the back of it damaged. And over here you can see from 2 videos the jockey wheel edging away from the car to give us a bit more room to be able to pull the Hilux out. And now with the tiny house trailer out of the way, we're ready to pull the Hilux out. And you can just notice there the snatch strap getting nice and stretched with all of the forces on it. And slowly but surely, we've got the Hilux out. So that's where you buy the expensive stuff, boys and girls. Oh, don't buy the cheap tracks. What do you guys think? How was this experience for you?
The tiny house finally relocated to the home.
Okay.
New place.
So we'll leave your tiny house here and we'll see you in winter.
Wet season, yeah.
Yeah, see you in a few months.
Is that July?
And needless to say, we didn't have to wait a few months until winter, because after just a couple of weeks the rain slowed down and the ground dried up just enough to be able to reshape it and have another go at pulling the tiny house out. But the thing that you really can't tell from this video is how humid it was. This was one of the most humid days I've ever felt in my life, and with every hit of the rake or every stroke of the shovel, sweat was just gushing down. And lucky for us, we had a bit of road base left over on our land that we were able to get a couple of wheelbarrows off and to patch up the hole that we made in the actual driveway. Considering how we started out, after just an hour or so with the shovel, the road is looking pretty good now and ready to pull out the tiny house. And now, with the soil nice and dried up, it was time to finally move the tiny house. And if you pay attention to the wheels here, you can see it was still a bit of a struggle getting it back on the driveway. But in the end, we made it. Woohoo!
This brings us to the end of today's adventure. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, comment or subscribe to our channel to see how we set up our new life out here in the Northern Rivers region of New South Wales, Australia.